Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stop the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightest feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calmed. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS and abolish CPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Vinny, and it is Wednesday night, and we are CPS Victims Hunting for Justice. Darren's going to be joining me pretty shortly. So I want to just see if we can get some people up in here, start sharing, liking, get us out and start talking in the chat so we can get that vibe going, get us out there. We got a whole hour to kill tonight. Figure we start right on time, 9 o'clock tonight, since Darren's trying to get some meds for a headache. I feel bad for him. I know how migraines are. They're number one killers for your head, boy. You get a migraine and it's like you don't want to see light, you don't want to see anything, you want to just curl up in a ball. I get them kind of headaches, so yeah, I definitely understand what he's going through right now. And I'm just getting over this cold and whatnot. But let's get some people up here. Let's get some people in the chat. I got some information myself I'm going to share once we actually fully get everyone here. I think it would be very important to share with you guys. But until then, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask us. We're willing to hear your what's going on with you and your CPS cases. We're here to give you advice. We are by no means attorneys, lawyers. This is just free knowledge to you people. We're trying to show you guys what to do, what not to do. I know Herbert has, been on the show quite some time with us, and he's the one that points out to you, how to avoid being on the radar of CPS. But as far as that goes, there's more to how you become on their radar. It could be the least little thing that you do, and they automatically put you on the radar. I mean, you guys got to look at it from the standpoint of, okay, what am I doing? What am I not doing? What should I work on to do better? because these are our kids, guys. It comes right down to it. And they're stealing our blood, our legacies, and they're making a profit off of it. And this is totally wrong in this society. This should not be happening. It should not be going on. Um, I myself, have had two of my kids taken. I do have an older son who I hope one day will come around, talk to me more, um, get to know both his sisters. Um, that is my hopes and dreams for that to happen. So it leads me to what is actually going to be going on here soon. I got a lot of information to share with you guys, but until Darren actually is able to join me and there's more people here, then I will share that out to you guys. But as I wonder if anyone's got any questions or concerns about their cases. It'd be interesting to find out. So once again, I say to you guys, comment, like, share, um, get your friends involved that are dealing with CPS, help them get educated, the do's and don'ts of CPS and how to maneuver around them. Even for the holiday, our our main man, Mr. Punisher, aka Darren, has a book out there. It's on Amazon. It's worth a buy. He's got a lot of knowledge in there, a lot of case laws, um, and quite a few other things. You guys should really think about looking into Darren's book. He shared it numerous times on the show. He also has that extra stuff, the hoodies, sweatshirts, all of that. Anything that will help benefit this show. Um, uh, I found out some other news today, so I can't really share that news because you guys all know that these people have kind of silenced me a little bit. I could not speak on one of my cases. Hi, Tammy, how are you doing? But the other information that I have is it will blow your mind tonight. And I think some people will start to realize that, wow, Vin's gone through a lot. I've dealt with a lot. I've lost a lot. Um, and I'm slowly creeping up to that light at that tunnel. Um, and when you guys hear what happened with the wife in court today, you'll be amazed. Um, and I'm actually very amazed with my wife's attorney as well, and my attorney Richard, who now are going to be working side by side. It is now a conjoint case. So both attorneys working together in the CPS case. That is some great news to hear today. They're going to be working back to back, and they're both doing their jobs to the T. Lynn's attorney is quite busy. She has a constitutional attorney. She worked for the ACLU, and she does some civil rights and a couple other things. She's a well-rounded attorney in a private firm, and her name is Allison Coons. So, I applaud both Richard and her for the jobs that they are doing and the help that they are giving us, because I am starting to see it move forward. It may have been slow going to get to where we are now, but I'm ecstatic in the news that I have to share with you guys all tonight. Like I said, I'm just waiting for Darren to come on and join me. I probably should have sent the link out, but everyone has the link to join the show that has been on the show. Herbert being one of them, and a few others, Danielle, Actually, the same thing. If you're watching, the link is the same link now. It doesn't change. So you guys that want to actually join the show, it's the same link, guys. It hasn't changed. Um, I'm hoping Gunner might pop in here um, tonight, and I shared a little bit of the news with him today, and a little bit with Carrie. Um, so it's turned out to be a pretty decent day. Psychology and religion. Yep, yep, exactly, Tammy. Um, hey Debbie, how are you doing? I heard I was talking to you earlier in the Tiff and Punisher show. Um, yep, cartels, terrorists. Oh yeah, yeah. I was just watching the thing that Tiff was talking about earlier on her show with Darren about the the RFK joining Trump's alliance and being part of his inner circle and on his team. And I was reading the article about it, and Tiff was not lying. He was hired. Um, Matter of fact, I found it on Facebook, um, and I can probably read you some of it, so you guys can get a bit of understanding what is about to happen. So let me find it here, right here. President election Donald Trump nominated Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be his Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. Right there. They posted on the local news right out here. So that's, you know, that's going to be awesome. That is really going to be awesome. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely out there. And I my good friend Ashley over there that comes on the show sent me a link today too. And you know, you guys really, if you're interested and you want to change the policies and procedures of, say, like CPS, um, Ashley told me that to get this link out there, um, and I think it would be perfect because then it's policies for the people. So we submit a policy or a procedure that we want followed to the government. And the more votes you get, the more closer you'll get it to being put on the ballot. So you see where I'm getting at with this, and this is a it's put in for restoring family constitutional rights. I think that's all says it all in itself. And that's what we want. We want our rights back in these lower courts, because half the time these lower courts aren't following by their procedures. They're not following by their statutes. They're not following by the constitutional rights of the people. Hey, Chris, how you doing, man? Oh no, Chris, the other Chris, rather. Hi, Chris. Still fighting, I see, from what your mom's been saying about the kids. It's kind of shitty that the way they're doing you guys. That, you know, is really shitty. But you guys need to start paying attention to what me, Darren, Carrie, Tiff are saying to you guys. You know, we're giving you the knowledge and the tools to help you with your case. We're not going to try to help you do your entire case. No, that's, you know, we we are just trying to help you understand each step of your case, what you need to do. That's why it's important to do a lot of research yourself. You know, you need to start looking up case law. You need to start looking up your constitutional rights. You need to start looking up your Bill of Rights. You need to start going through each and everything that is going on in your case, getting everything, every document. Even if they won't give it to you, subpoenaing it. You have that right to. You have a right to your file. You have a right to know what's going on in your case. And you have the right to file motions. If you were to say, take your attorney that's given to you in CPS and make him sit second chair, he can only ask or answer questions when you tell him he can. So you have your pro se part, but you also have an attorney. It's good to have both, just like it's good to have two attorneys on one case instead of two attorneys on the same case separate. But Debbie, you guys really need to look into filing a motion a motion for contempt, because they are in contempt of that court order that was ordered by a judge, and that judge is the one that signed off that this child was supposed to be receiving that service. So you guys need to file a motion of contempt and explain why they're in contempt with what the judge has underneath exactly on that order. And you need to make sure it's there so he or she knows when they're looking at it, okay, they are in contempt of this order. Oh yeah, they totally are, Tammy. They're ridiculously full of bullshit. I just watched a video a little while ago. This guy was he cracked me right up. I don't know who shared it, but it showed up on my wall, and he was a black guy, kind of like Herbert, kind of younger, way younger, of course, though. And he straight up told these caseworkers how it was, his constitutional rights. And he was just going off at them at his front door. And wow, why couldn't why couldn't us parents do that from the get go? You know, I knew I had some rights, and I knew that I didn't have to let CPS in my door without a warrant. Um, and I knew that I didn't have to answer their damn questions. I knew that from the get go because, well, I've had to deal with these assholes all my life. Yeah, yep, yeah, it's within the time frame. Yep. But wait till you guys hear the news. I mean, I'm hoping Darren's back soon. Um, and someone else jumps up here, um, like Herbert or even Carrie. I don't know what she's doing. I know she's probably dealing with her son. He was hammering away today again. We were talking, and all I could hear is he was over there, bang, bang, bang. That boy loves to hammer stuff. I mean, that's not a bad thing, because maybe when he's older, he'll be one of them kids that wants to do carpentry because he can bang a hammer really well. Dude got it down, man. I bet you Colton could build a house. I bet he could. He's pretty ingenious from what Gary's been telling me. But yeah, I mean, you guys need to really start digging in on your cases. Um, CPS is not your friend. They are liars. They are bullshitters. They are people who coerce you into doing what they want and how they want. They use manipulation tactics. Not only that, they use coercion. at the finest of that. And they're way dishonest from the get-go. This is why we need to take CPS completely out, revamp it to how we the people want it, what we want them there for, and that should be the goal. It should bring it back to where the people want it, not what these governments or corporations want it as. And we need to start with fire every single one of these workers that have trafficked these kids. They need to all go. They need to all go sit in a jail cell and see how it feels to be in the place of us. Because that's what they actually do to a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers. They arrest them. They have them arrested. And that is the truth. I've seen it in my own case. They don't like when people speak up about them. They don't like the fact that we, the people, are speaking up and saying, whoa, this is not supposed to be going on like this. This is not how this happened. You are violating my rights. You have a right to God and your country. You have a constitutional right. You have all kinds of rights. Why are we not having our rights defended against these assholes? And that's where you got to put them brakes on and say, okay, dig in, time to fight back fire with fire. Because that's basically what it is. It's no longer, are we going to be the silent parents? No longer are we going to be the parents that just, oh, well, they took my kids. There's nothing I can do. No, I don't think so. These are our blood. No more. If you fight for what is yours and prove yourself and you get your kid back, let me tell you, you're going to want to make sure that you either leave that state or you find a nice piece of land. You put yourself up some very nice security cameras all around that property on the inside of your house, certain places, not in bathrooms. Don't be weird or anything like that. But like places that where it can be watched. It's a central area. Your back door, if you have one, put it right near your back door. That way you're seeing every angle of your house on the outside. And you got a fence around your property that has trespassing. They even make one for CPS. I kid you not. They have a sign that says, "No trespassing CPS, or you will be shot on sight." And I seen it. You have a right to defend your land. You have a right to defend your property. But they have taken our rights away from us. They've been doing it for years. Back when I was a kid, man, you could roam the streets until like 12, 1 o'clock at night. And they didn't bother you. Christ, I drank from a damn hose. I spun the merry-go-round, you know. I I was one of them ones that was stupid enough to sit in the middle sometimes. Or hang off the edge of it. And then if I went flying, well, that's my stupidity. It wasn't on my parents. We were kids. Kids are gonna do dumb shit. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that just seems like it kind of follows your family gene. My dad did shit. He wasn't the greatest dad, but he was a dad. Now I got my stepdad. And, love the man sometimes I don't. It's a pick and choosy. But family's family, regardless. You know, I have a great sister out there. Actually, I have two great sisters, really. I don't really like my youngest sister much. Um, I never talk about my family really. Um, but you all got to realize you got to find them people that are going to be there for you. So, like, you see everyone here, like, believe it or not, this is a family right here. All of us that are coming together on this live and on this show under Darren are all like a big family. We all have similarities in our stories. There are similar things in our stories and how things have come about. And the more I listen to, you know, like Cricket and Jesse and I see Debbie's story, and I've heard it tremendous times, even when I was on TikTok. Um, Ashley's story, Danielle's story, um, and Kimberly's story, and Sam's story. You know, there's a lot of us out there going through so much in our lifetime, and we got these people taking our children, okay, our blood, our inheritance. They're supposed to be the future. They're supposed to take over when we pass on. How are they going to do that if they're brainwashed? They're programming our kids to what they want. It's okay to be transgendered. It's okay to be a furry. It's okay to go poop in a litter box. What kind of BS is that? They were teaching that in schools in Maine. And I've heard it from 4 other schools. Oh yeah, it's definitely a full of idiots. There's no question in that, Debbie. And I'll get to that in a few, because you know I think you guys would be interested in hearing this part of the story. Um, and I'm hoping Darren's gonna be coming on soon. I feel like I'm alone tonight. So I hope I'm doing all right, guys. You know, I haven't done the show by myself in a while, so I kind of feel a little awkward. Like I know I did it Saturday, but I had someone with me. Um, so I kind of feel a little awkward um, because I really haven't spoken to you guys in a while. Um, yeah, I've been on the show with Darren, or I've been in the back, or you know that, but I haven't really come on here and talked to you guys like full on. Um, so I'm hoping that Herbert or someone will come on with me, and yeah, you know, I can start telling you guys what actually transpired in court today. And then I might be able to touch on a few other things, but I got to be careful with what I say, because I don't want these people to know what is coming. Thanks, Chris. I'm definitely trying, guys. Um, so I'm trying to save the news, you know, because I want everyone to hear it. I want all the people that have been on the podcast or in the podcast talking to all hear what transpired today. And uh, it blows my mind, like it really does. Um, and the way these people think that they play so dirty, they think they got people fooled. They think they won us over. You know, no, I never signed a safety plan. I never signed any contract with CPS. Not one. Not a one iota. So technically, I don't have to abide by their rules anyways, because I wasn't contracted with them. And every time they emailed me, I put my constitutional rights in a reply and due process of law and color of law. Yeah, they definitely don't have me fooled, Herbert. I caught on to their game long ago. They think that they pulled the wool, and now that wool's starting to come back over across the top, and it's yep. As my favorite saying goes, "Fuck around, find out." They fucked around, now they're about to find out. Because now they got a bigger problem coming. Oh, Alexa, shut up. Herbert, how about you join me up here, you know? I don't know where Darren is. He said he was gonna go get something for his headache. Um, so I don't know if he's even gonna come on tonight, really. Um, he might just take the night off. I mean, I would if I had a migraine like he has. I would take the night off. You shouldn't stress yourself out with the lighting, Darren, if you're watching, because once you get in front of all those lights, it's gonna bug you even more if you got a migraine, buddy. Good evening, Mr. Herbert.
She has branded herself not.
Good evening, Vinny. I was listening to you before, and I'm glad that you're not being fooled.
Yeah, I've learned so much from watching everyone and like Darren was saying the other night. I've done my research. I have dig through multiple videos. I've read my constitutional rights, the Bill of Rights, the main Constitution. Um, I am looking at statutes and codes, and now that Gunner has been teaching me how to import my case laws into my motions and what I'm filing, and that helped me go in and search even more and find what else I could look into doing. Um, and then we got into the conversation of jurisdiction, and it's just like, wait, where does that hold up exactly? Well, I did do some research today, and I wanted to let you guys know it doesn't always work in a criminal case. Um, you could try to challenge jurisdiction, but they recommend you don't in a criminal case. You're better to do it in a civil case, like a CPS case, because when you do it in that case, you can directly ask, okay, what are the rules of violation of due process of law? What constitutes this being allowed in this courtroom? You have to ask direct questions. And then the court will kick it back down to the lower court, and then they'll monitor what they'll do to see if they break that constitutional right. And they're monitoring them. They're watching the outcome of this hearing. I'm trying to see what Carrie said.
You're right. You're right about what you're saying. They're always monitoring.
Sorry, just arrived.
They're always monitoring you.
Hey, Carrie. Hope you're having a good night. Well,
They're always monitoring whatever you say, whatever you do. They're watching you, the character, the whole 9 yards.
actually,
There are haters out there. There are people that hate to hear about other people's success.
Yep.
You know? Then there's people like on the show who are in support of your success.
absolutely.
So you have to be careful with who you talk
Yep.
to. I have a saying, it goes like this. You have to keep your own counsel. Your friends don't need it, and family don't need it because they know where you're coming from. Your enemies don't believe it, so why talk about it? Don't talk about certain things because people don't want to hear about your success. So you have to keep your own counsel, work at it, make it happen, and show people that it's going to work.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
It's a shame we live in a world like that, but I've seen situations, not getting off the subject, where there are jumpers. You know what a jumper is?
Yep.
Like wants to jump off a roof or a building or whatever. Okay.
Hey,
On the ground, there's crowds of
I'm not
people.
gonna lie, Herbert. You know, in my lifetime, I've been to that point twice. I really have. I've actually stood
I
on that bridge.
understand. I'm sorry to hear that.
Um,
Yeah. But here's the sad part. The sad part, Vinny, is while you're on that bridge or on that building and wanting to jump, and there's people down below looking up. You know what they're shouting? Jump, 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 jump.
I didn't.
That's
I
horrible.
didn't have that problem because I didn't make it so that people were around. You know what I mean? Um,
No, I'm just telling you about situations that I've seen and been involved in where there's a jumper. And then we have negotiators go up and try to talk the person down. Meanwhile, the crowds are yelling, jump. Those are haters.
yeah, I
You
agree
see?
with you, Carrie. Yep, it's facts. We all used to care for one another. You know, there was no you're black, you're white, you're this, you're that. There was none of that. There really wasn't. We didn't give a shit if you were colored. You know, us kids all hung out together. We all friggin' tear our ass down the streets on our bikes, or grabbed onto the rear end of a bumper after a snowstorm and rode down the ass end of the car on our feet down the road.
Yes,
That's
I
back
get that.
that's back when we
But
could get
it's
away with doing that kind of shit.
sure. But because of our government and because everything seems to be circling around more, me. That's what's going on. It's all about more. I want more, I want more. It's all about me. And it's all about look what I have and you don't have.
Yeah, that is what it is about now. And you know, you gotta have
And
enough.
as
You
I
gotta
listen
have it.
to
You gotta
yourselves,
have a nice car or a nice truck, or you gotta have your own house, or you
right?
gotta. No, it was never about that. You know,
Yes.
my whole life I've never
No.
had money. I really don't care about money. Money is nothing to me. Yeah, we need it to survive,
No, I understand that.
but you know something? There's a
Yeah.
lot of things you can do to survive on your own by nature. And this is true, people. Um, you can find vegetables that grow wild. You know, they have wild carrots, they have wild herbs. These all grow naturally across the US.
Yeah, you can find those things, or for just a few dollars, you could buy a whole package of seeds and plant your own garden,
Exactly
and
right.
don't have to go to the grocery store for stuff.
Exactly right.
You see, you could plant an apple tree in your backyard and have loads of apples.
Right.
See, it's called living off the fat of the land.
Yep. Sorry, guys. You turn this down.
It just seems like when government interferes, and when I use the word government, I'm referring to local government, county government, state government, and federal government. That's what I'm referring to when I say government. When they get involved, they'll come up with ideas and things because they want to make money too. If you got a good idea and you're doing something, they're going to try to figure out how they can make money off of you.
Yeah, because that's actually out of the Bible.
Marijuana was around. It comes out of the ground. Why? Why should? Why? You know, when I think about it, it's really funny. Marijuana is basically a weed. Am I
Yep.
correct?
And it started with a feed
And it
given
grows.
to us by God.
Yes, exactly. And it grows in the ground. In certain places, it grows better than other places. But it grows out of the
Yep.
ground. It's not manufactured by man. It's not chemically manufactured and put together by man. Okay? It just grows. So if you take that weed and you induce it, smoke it, eat it, or whatever, in certain many states nowadays, you go to jail
Yep.
because of a weed that grows in your
Yep.
backyard. It never, it just never seems to amaze me. I stop being amazed about how something that can naturally grow can be so illegal.
It actually,
You mentioned to me that,
hemp used to grow across the United States. It still
okay,
does in some places. It's still there. They just don't even realize it's still there.
uh-huh. You know, I'm wondering, nobody talks about it, but tobacco, for example, tobacco is grown from the ground. I wonder if you grew tobacco in your backyard, would there be a problem? So in other words, you grow tobacco so you can make your own, dry it out and make your
Why
own
not? I'm
cigarettes.
I'm sure
Would would they
I'm
would
sure
they
that's what the Amish
would they
do.
tax you for
The
that?
Amish grow their own.
Oh, oh, the Amish, they get away with a lot. But also, you know, you've heard that they've been coming after the Amish on certain things too.
Yeah, that's
They
because
claim
they
that
don't
one,
like the fact that the Amish are sticking into North Carolina and they're trying to help these families that need the help for before they get their kids taken away. The Amish are saying, no, we're not going to allow you to take these people's kids. Because that's what CPS is really doing.
but
I didn't watch quite a few videos today, and one of them was about Ashland, North Carolina, and how they really are trying to take these kids because of this tritium that's there. And their water is so very toxic. They can't even drink the water there because
wow,
it's bad. It's making people sick and
wow,
killing them.
yeah. Well, you just gave me an idea. I'm gonna do a little research on the Amish and CPS. I want to see if CPS is bothering them.
It'd be something to look into. Yep.
I could do that. You know, I research, so I could do that. And I'm just now that you brought that up, I'm gonna order listeners. Hey, you know, you guys who are listening, I don't have the ability to Google while I'm on the show, but if you would Google incidents involving CPS and Amish, and Amish, and like whatever different states. I know one of the big states they're in is Pennsylvania, and they're in Ohio and other states too. But just Amish involvement with CPS. If you could Google that for me, I would appreciate it, and tell me what you find.
Carrie,
So I wish I had the ability
Carrie,
to Google and talk.
Carrie said, I will look it up right now, Herbert.
Good, good. I'm just curious to see if they're
That
on
is
the
part of
list.
your duties
And
around
I'll tell you
here.
another group of people. I'll tell you another group of people. I'm wondering if they're on the target too, and that is the Hasidic Jews. You know, the ones that wear the long robes
Yep.
with the
Yep.
guys wear the little curls. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I used to work around them a lot back in New York. So I'm very used
Yeah,
to being involved
I
with them.
remember in
And
Albany when I lived out there, we have a lot of them out there too. Yep.
yeah, we got them down in Brooklyn and Williamsburg
Me
and
though,
other places.
I love the little Pakistani stores on the corners because I tell you what, you could walk in there and get a nice beef steak thing, and it was cooked to perfection. Like these people know how to cook. You eat a beef steak from them, and it's like eating from heaven, dude.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, they were down on Ocean Avenue, Coney Island, Williamsburg, all different parts of New
Yeah,
York. They had their neighborhoods. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what's interesting, Vinny. As far as crime, it was, I wouldn't say zero. There's no such thing as zero, but there was little to no crime
right.
in those neighborhoods because they patrol and they took care of their own.
Do you realize I don't
They're,
know of many Mainers that come on the show besides me, Darren, and a couple others. But do you know that in Portland, Maine, there is a park. It's called Portland Public Park, but it's better known as Pickle Park. The whole reason behind it,
why is that?
the whole reason behind it being called Pickle Park, is because back in the day,
Mm.
that is where all the pedophiles used to hang out.
Oh,
And it's the same
okay.
place that in a movie with Denzel Washington on the body, I think it was The Bodyguard or one of the movies where she's ice skating. No, yeah, Whitney Houston, I think. They were ice skating in the park. That was done right here in Maine at Pickle Park.
Oh, okay. Did the police do anything about Pickle Park?
Oh, it's still called that to this day.
Do they still have guys hanging out or people
They
hanging
they
out with that kind of
they in
attitude?
the summertime they patrol that area a lot more now.
Okay.
And that's a good thing because it's not really that far from the barracks. Really, the barracks is like pretty much dead around the corner from the park.
Okay.
It's really not that far from it. You could
Okay.
get there in like 5 minutes.
Cool. Hey, full circle, going back to you and your case. Some of the things and a number of the things that Gunnar has shared
Yep.
with you that would be, helpful for you. Have you shared with some of that stuff with your attorneys? And if so, what were their
Oh,
reactions?
absolutely. I've shared a lot of the case law of what Gunnar has sent me to my CPS attorney, and he was mind blowing for him because he's like, I should be an attorney in other states because man, I could win a lot of cases. Um, so he kind of caught on. He even looked at some of the federal law that I sent to him from there, and a couple other things that I found, and a couple things Ashley has sent me, a couple things Gunnar sent as well as Carrie, as well as Darren, um, and Danielle has sent me a couple things as well. So I kind of compile things and I look it over and I go, okay, well, what is best for my case? What should I use? And I send what I think is best in my case on both sides because I have the two cases. Um, so I try to figure out, okay, what's good, what isn't, what should I do, what should I not do, and you have to basically make your case into your own thing without saying you're using information of other people, but it you do in a way, but you don't. You write your motions and state your facts. Then you find the case law that backs that fact up, and you put it in underneath it. And then you do your next set of whatever. You find that case law, and you put it underneath it. And it just in my motion that I filed already, it's 9 pages long.
Wow. Sure. Wow. That's a number of pages.
But there is going to be progress in that case. I can't really go into detail, but if it goes the way we think it's going to go, I definitely probably won't be home at nights much after 2 weeks.
You won't be home at night much?
Nope.
Where you going to be?
It is definitely a surprise when I tell you guys. I'm waiting
Okay.
for the confirmation on it. Um,
Okay.
but things turned around a bit today. Um, I kind of argued with my criminal attorney, and he made a true point. And, I had to say, okay, I understand that. I get where you're coming from. He explained it thoroughly to me. He went into detail, explained how that part would work. We put together a timeline today as well. I can say that. And yeah, there's a lot not clicking in that. On the CPS side, since I know, Darren's probably going to take the night off, and if I was him, I would too, because a migraine is not worth being on the show for. I know you guys they had an after show last night, and I went to bed, and I got a migraine. And I said, I can't do this. I need dark, and I shut the lights all completely out and went to sleep. So on the CPS side, the wife had court today. She gets there. They were there for past that, I'd say a half hour before they even went in. But before they went in, she I was texting me, and she says, "Well, here comes a bunch of caseworkers." And I was like, "What's a bunch of caseworkers?" She's like, "The first original caseworker that came to the house was there, Leanne Keenan. Her supervisor, Roxanne, and some other caseworker. And then behind her was, the ADA, and this one person who started all of this to begin with. She showed up at court today, and they got called to come in for court. They get in there, they do roll call. Well, everyone that was supposed to be there, other than this one person, the judge looked at her and said, "Ma'am, you need to leave my courtroom.
Really?
You are not on the docket, ma'am. Please leave."
Wow.
She got up, got mad, stormed out. So
Wow.
they get to the hearing, and I can't wait to tell you guys this, because this was great news for us today. Small victory, but yet nonetheless a victory.
Now,
Um,
you said this one woman stormed
yes,
out. Who was this woman that stormed out?
she was the one that's was doing all the coercion.
Okay.
They caught it in a couple other scenarios, not just in Discovery, but they're catching it in many other different directions as well. I can say that
So Carrie's saying that she was the original accuser?
she was, yes, she was the one that baited that person.
Okay.
So
Well, I'm glad the judge had her leave the
yep.
courtroom.
So they get into talking about things, and they changed a lot on the order. And before they left, the judge said, "Well, we're probably going to have a conference after this, but my wife had visits, so she had to get going." Well, it turns out, everybody, the judge decided that in 30 days there will be a hearing, and in that 30 days after that, Arasta will be getting moved to my sister's house.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations.
So it was a
And how far is your sister's house from where you presently
from
live?
where I presently live now, it is 40 minutes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's well within an hour drive. It's like 40 minutes. Oh, by car. I mean,
And
Jesus, man. 20 minutes, right? By
yeah, and
car?
it'll also mean that, Lynn will be able to talk to Arasta more. She'll be able to probably go see her a hell of a lot more, because it's my sister's house, and that's where she's going to be.
Yes.
As long as she gives my sister a heads up
Yes,
that, hey, can I come over and see her? You know, I yeah. Um, but
that's very good news.
I do want to say one thing that might be happening. Um, I am praying to God about it, and I'm hoping that it does really do so happen. We have it in a motion that we're getting ready to file um, on the criminal side of my case. And if that goes through, that will be a blessing more than people know. Um, so,
Congratulations. That's
so
great. Let me ask you this, Vinny. Since your wife is going there, I understand you cannot go there. Am I correct?
at this present time, I cannot. Um, the,
Okay. But when your wife is there, can she hook up a FaceTime with you and your
no,
daughter? No,
I am
but you're not in the presence of your daughter.
I am blocked from everything right now due to the conditions of bail.
I, okay. I got to try to rattle this in my brain. Maybe some of the viewers can help me with this. I understand you can't be in the presence of your daughter. I get that. I understand that from the court. But we have modern technology now where your daughter could be on a
No,
screen.
no. I have bail conditions that prevent me from doing so.
Oh, so they specifically said you can't do video chat or FaceTime or anything like
No,
that. So
no,
you can't
no.
communicate with her any way, shape, or
Nope.
form.
The way they have it written, I cannot have contact with a certain age group.
Okay. So, as Carrie was saying, play their game, but beat them at it. Carrie, you didn't say it that way, but I'm saying it that way. Play their game and beat them at it. In other words, play by the rules and do everything that they're telling you to do so that in time, soon, you'll have the visits. So I think you should stick to the rules.
And though I have requested visitations, and that is written on my
Uh,
record on both of them that I've been requesting
yeah.
visits since the start of this entire case, and I was supposed to have visits, um, video visits to start, and then after a month, they were supposed to be in person with supervision. They never allowed me to have my visitation, not once. So that is
Okay.
rule number one is a major violation of parental rights and the Constitution because you have a right to life, liberty, and freedom.
Yes. Especially with your own blood. Now, if they said, oh, no, you can't be around other people's children, that's one thing. But this is your blood.
Yep. The last time
So,
I seen my two kids was almost a year and 2 months ago.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Carrie got back to us and said that the Amish people she only found a few significant cases, and mainly they're left alone due to their strong culture and tight communities. That's very true. And I'm sure you don't have to research it, Carrie, but if you looked up the Hasidic Jews, you'll probably find exactly the
Yep.
same thing
Yep.
because they have a strong community bind together. They strongly stick together. And that's why CPS can't jump in there.
Yes, they can. It is considered kingship placement, Debbie. You can have a child placed with kingship if you have someone in your family that is willing to take the kid. And they tell you that that is a mandatory thing. They're supposed to look into kingship placement with family members before they even put them in a foster care. That's mandatory. That's a policy and procedure. And they break that because they do not look into kingship placements with family members.
Well, thinking the way Gunner thinks, can you take that to a federal level?
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. That is a question you can ask a federal judge and have them kick it back to the lower court with their answer. And then they are
Okay.
bound by that upper court ruling. So Gunner does have a lot of information when it comes to getting stuff to federal court. And I hope that, you know,
Yeah.
he was able to get accomplished what he got was talking to me about earlier, because that would be like some serious weight for him to get help on that. He's got one hell of a case. I know it. I can see it by what he has shown. That man is definitely on to a lot of stuff, and so isn't Darren. Don't let Darren fool you. Darren writes his own motions. Darren writes his own everything. Yeah, he
Yes.
takes stuff from us as well, but Darren is really knowledgeable when it comes to writing his own motions.
Yes.
And that man, I tell you, he has been through hell. And it's written all over him. Him, Mary,
Oh yeah,
his daughter,
both him and Mary.
you know,
Uh-huh.
they are under scrutiny as much as the rest of us. And I do not like how they're treating we the people. I do not. This should not be happening. This should not be allowed.
Right.
And
Should not be allowed.
Darren doesn't take enough credit. Oh yeah, I know he doesn't. He never does, Carrie. He doesn't take enough credit for what he's accomplished. You know, he got his book done and published and out there for sale. That's a big accomplishment in itself.
Yep.
He's
Big
taken
accomplishment. Yeah.
he took
It's-
attorney
it's-
classes to get his bar number. You know, Darren's making strides in
Yes.
his own way, and he's not taking credit
Uh-huh.
that, hey, look, I actually can do this shit.
Yep.
And he should be, because, you know, he's got a great podcast here. And eventually, you know, he might get them kids that have grown up onto this podcast to share what they went through, why they were taken from us.
That would be great.
You know,
I mean, starting with the ones from 18 and above.
right.
They could speak on the show, right?
Sure could.
So I'm really glad that Darren is doing all this, and I wish that there was a way we could get more people grouped together to act like the Amish on issues, to bring it to the attention of the media. So once the media is involved, that's when these senators and Congress people, they get involved. It's got to be big enough, but it can't be raunchy. When I say raunchy, it can't be like destroying things, breaking windows, stuff like that, because nobody's going to listen to that. It has to be well organized, with a point, with a message. Martin Luther
I didn't
King,
know that one,
he walked down. I'm sorry?
I was answering Carrie. I didn't know that Darren was writing a kid's book. That's awesome. That's awesome to have a, you know, constitutional book based for our children, with what they should and shouldn't do when it comes to CPS. I mean, that is, Darren, that is mind blowing, dude. That is awesome. You let me know when you actually get that published, dude, and I will find a way to buy that book. That I would love to have that kind of book for my children. I would, because then they can learn stuff as well as me teaching them, you know, and showing them what their father went through and how he did things and who he talked to. You know, I want to introduce them to the show and let them watch it and see, okay, well, my dad was here and he was fighting and he didn't give up.
Sure. Exactly.
Because, you know, that's
We
basically,
we we actually had a young lady. We actually had a young lady that was in a system on several months ago. You
yep,
remember her? She has her own
yep,
children now, and she was part of this system, and she went into what she went through in the whole 9 yards. So we need more of
yeah.
that. You
We
know?
definitely need more of that. I do gotta criticize though. I I was reading back over and watching the comments and stuff the other day when we had your friend caseworker on the show there, um and it was just mind blowing to watch the comments and then hear what was being asked and what was being said. And I did some digging of myself, and the things that I have found is sometimes a caseworker will come out and tell you if she's not portraying what she's supposed to be. Take
Uh
for
huh.
instance Tammy. Tammy was a caseworker for 4 years. She's been out for 30.
Uh huh.
Um, she hates
Yes.
CPS with a passion. Um,
Yes.
them kind of workers know what these people were doing, and they
Yes.
understand the the things that we are going through because they seen it with their own eyes and they didn't want to be a part of that. They got out of that for a reason.
Right. And I think that the lady that I met through other people. Now, you remember how I did that supermarket
Yep.
interview thing? That's kind of how I met that lady, by the way. Okay. And from her point of view, what Gunnar said a while ago was very true. If she sees what's going on, if she knows what's going on, then get out of it. Don't be a
Yep.
part of it. You know. Um, but I believe from talking to her, she doesn't have much of a choice job wise, but she doesn't hurt people. In other words, she may see and know what's going on, but she's not going to blow a whistle because she don't want to blow a job. I think it's a monetary thing with her
Yep.
because she does know everything you guys are talking about. She agrees. It happens.
And
You know,
you,
that's why she over and over she says there's good social workers, there's bad social workers, there's good cops, bad cops. She said that several
yep.
times to make a
Yep, but
point.
she needs to realize though that these people and these caseworkers really are breaking our constitutional rights, and they are breaking not only our constitutional rights but our rights to due process of law.
Yeah, I think she's aware of that.
And
But on the other hand, I believe she was speaking on her behalf. She was talking about herself. She wasn't answering and talking about other social workers. She was just talking about what she does. And she talked about what social workers should be doing.
I mean
So she wasn't defending social workers.
I mean, I look at it from a standpoint. Okay, I'm not going to say my counselor's name or where I go to counseling, but my counselor said to me not only once but twice now, Vinny, you really should be an attorney, um, because you will fight for the people on Constitution. She said, throughout this entire time, I have seen you fight and not give up. Even through the toughest time, you never gave up. And she's right. Yeah, I had a downfall when I was in jail. Uh, um, it was not good. I had a nervous breakdown a little bit. Um, but I pulled myself out of it. And the second time around when they had me arrested, then again, yeah, I was there for over the weekend. Um, but and a lot of people had changed. Not a lot of the same people I knew were there anymore. Um, there was a few of them, yes. And I just, you know, I got there and one of the guards I knew said, "What room you want?" And I was like, I want this room because that's where I was. And they put me back in the room I had.
Huh.
So, there was a few of the guards there that were actually caring, especially the one guard. And he's like, I'm going to be straight with you, Ben. He goes, "You're almost like the son I never had because you follow the rules. You keep your room clean. You're neat. You take care of yourself. You don't give me any trouble." And I said, "Why would I?"
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly so.
I know what they expect. I know what the guards go through in a prison. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of guys out there that just treat them utterly like shit, and they don't deserve it. Some of them do like to help
Yeah.
you and do their jobs in there. Even some of the women's staff. I respected quite a
Mhm.
few of the women's staff in there. To deal what they have to deal with on a daily basis. I get it. I really do. I understand.
Yeah. Hmm.
These people get spit on and
Sure.
everything else.
Sure.
And though I have no authority for the law, and I'll admit that clearly, I do not like someone to tell me what to do and what not to do. I feel that, they shouldn't be doing that whatsoever. We should have our set of rules,
You-
and they should have their set of
Well,
rules, and they should be
okay.
combined into one.
Okay. Well, it is combined into one if the law is developed that way. You see, in other words, if 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 the people get together and agree upon we need to have a law, and constitution wise, we're going to have this law where you can't do this or you can't do that, and everybody is in agreement with that and they vote on that, then that's the law. Then you have enforcers, and the enforcement people enforce the law that the people set. So I guess I'm just going to make up something out of the clear blue. Your neighborhood, in your neighborhood, Vinny, you're not allowed to have weeds growing on your lawn. Okay, you're not allowed to have trash can out after the day the trash is
Hold,
picked up, and
hold up,
everybody in the
hold up,
neighborhood
hold
agrees
up,
to
hold
that.
up, Herbert, real quick. Debbie, I just want to comment um, to your Laura Ann 1972. I know Laura. I remember her from when I was on TikTok. And Laura is a very powerful person. She knows a lot of her stuff. Debbie, so maybe you can share us out there. Grab the YouTube channel link, which is on the outside of the page before you enter the page itself. When you come on, if you go and you grab that share link and you send that to her in a private box um, on her TikTok and share us out there to her, then we can probably get her to come on the show and talk about the things that she's actually doing. Because I think a lot of viewers need to understand um, what this lady has done, what she is doing, and the movements that she is making as well as us, along with Darren. And that's why it's always good to create content, put that content out there to other people. It helps share what is going on to these people. And that's what we really need to be doing. We need to get all of this and what we're doing here on the show and the things that we talk about out to the public eye. And the way to do that is by sharing, liking, putting the content out there, pushing this out there. Even you guys talking is putting us out there. We may not have a lot of people here, but that's okay because it's still pushing us out there. Um, I noticed the other night, just in Tiffin the Punisher show alone, there was 11 viewers watching the one show. The night that we had the caseworker on, there was 14 people watching the show. It changes and varies every night, and I watch it go up and down, but I'm starting to see that sometimes during midday it's okay. Sometimes later in the evening is even better. Um, and it's usually after 9:30, 9:45. That's when everyone starts to really come on. And by 10:30, almost 11, like we had an hour and 40-minute show last night. Um, and there was about 8 watchers at that point. So, you guys got to share the link out there and get us out there. It not only helps get us moving on the channel, it helps Darren get his viewers up. It helps um, us promote what we're doing and trying to help the community understand how to deal with these people, how to go after these people for the violations that they're doing to you. We are by far not advocates. We are by far not attorneys. We are just sharing our knowledge with you that we are learning. So the more you share with,
And if I could piggyback on,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, if I could piggyback on that, Debbie, she's talking about somebody she knows named Samantha, who
Yep.
has a book on what she went through and what's awesome. It would be nice if we could get Samantha on the show.
Samantha's actually been on the show a couple times, and Sam is amazing.
Since she wrote,
Yep.
since she wrote a book, since Samantha wrote her book, she's been on.
She hasn't been on in a little while, but Sam has been on the show.
Okay.
And Sam is an
Okay.
amazing woman. Um, as just as well as Tiffany. I applaud Tiffany for everything she is doing, even with her own grandkids and her daughter. That woman has got a heart of gold right there. And
Sure.
get her out there, guys. Wicked Warriors, um, the RFK that she's following, and he was just, like I said, brought on by the president. Our getting ready to be sworn in president. Um, and he's going to be a big player in a lot of what's going on because he's going to see it and go, whoa, 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 wait up.
Are you referring to
Oh yeah,
Kennedy?
oh yeah,
Kennedy's going to be on. He's going to be brought
yeah, oh
into.
yeah. He's going to be
He's we have a word. I think you're from New York, right? So we have a word that we use called he's going to be made.
he's you're going to see CPS change dramatically when he comes on and he starts digging through everything they're doing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Doug here too.
Hey, dog. Yeah, dog is there. Dog, what's new with you? Over in across the
Yeah,
pond. Isn't dog across the
yeah.
pond? Hey, mate. The dog just brought up a good point. He don't even realize it. He says that he usually watches the show later. Now, Vinny, when people scroll through and research on YouTube things about CPS or whatever, do you know that these shows pop up amongst other stuff? They pop up just like if I put something in about fighting CPS, fighting justice, or whatever, there'll be attorneys that
Do
pop
you
up.
realize?
There'll be Tiffany
Do
pops
you?
up. There'll be the show we have pop up.
Oh, oh, oh,
No. I know Carrie says no, Herbert, but no, it's true. If you go into YouTube and you just throw words in there,
oh, yeah.
these,
So, so
huh?
I gotta read this to you guys. I just got this from my sister. It was posted on WGME CBS 13 News. There's a new scratching assessment of Maine's Office of Child and Family Services and actions that might have put children in harm's way. Yet again, they are under investigation.
Oh yeah, that's good to know.
Maybe, I've been posting on their news channel about a lot of stuff and how they violate these parents' rights, and how the government and these oversight committees are not doing anything about it. And you know, just posting under a feed, you know how many people are watching that feed? Even under, like, when they post, like, about Trump, if you comment under there and you're putting things that stick out, it catches the eye of the viewer. They're gonna look at
Oh,
it and go
okay, Carrie.
okay, what is going on in Maine? Why is this going on? Why is this happening? And then you get those people to come on your thing and see what you're posting and sharing, and they share that out to the public. It's the same way with live.
Okay.
You take the live, you share it out to people on different platforms. You're helping build the viewers.
Okay.
You're
Hey,
bringing
Vinny, we both stand corrected. Carrie, I stand corrected. Carrie is saying that that the dog, he's not from across the pond, so he's stateside. He's just within one of our states here, someplace.
Yeah. No, he's not from across the pond. I know.
Yeah,
I miss.
yeah, I thought it
I
was.
miss our across the pond, Miss Clearwater and Durham. I
Yeah,
haven't seen them
Durham.
in a
Yeah.
little bit. It's been a couple weeks, and I kind of miss having them on the show and hearing their side of what's going on over in the UK, and what they're going through. And
Well, I hope they didn't get censored over there, because it's kind of strange how they disappeared. I mean, you would think at least one of them would be
yeah,
on, you know? And it's like, and I know there's probably a lot of censorship or censor stuff that goes on
yeah, yeah,
over in those European countries and stuff.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's big time over there. Yeah, oh yeah, their courts are a lot different than our courts.
Uh-huh.
That is for
Oh,
sure.
totally.
But yeah,
With their solicitors.
I just want to urge you parents out there listening and watching, and that are fighting the fight with us and learning from everything that we're trying to teach you on here, that you have to fight. You have to plant your feet and say, okay, you think you're going to walk all over me? We're not allowing that to happen. You need to take back that power that CPS frightens you with and makes you believe that they're your friend. Rip that out and say, what are you really doing? And why are you trying to
Yeah,
violate my rights? You have a right to come in my
right,
house without a warrant? No, ma'am, you do not. No, sir, you do not. You have
right,
a right without a court order to enter my property? No, you do not.
right.
I've seen videos where this one girl made these caseworkers and the cop stay at the bottom of their driveway, not on their property, and told the officer after that woman was coercing her, and that woman was trying to come on her property and trespass, and she wanted a no trespassing order put on that caseworker, and it was done immediately.
Wow.
So keep
By the way, keep talking.
Keep that in mind, people. You
Keep
you have a
talking.
right to put a sign out in front of your house if you own property, or you have an apartment. You can put a sign out on that front door of your apartment where your door is, no trespassing beyond this point. Once that is there, they cannot trespass. You can have them served for
Oh,
trespassing.
yes. No, they can still trespass, Vinny, but you can call the police and have the police take action
Yeah,
against them.
you sure can.
I mean, the sign is not going to stop them, but at least you have a warning, no trespass, and they go past that. The police come, and the police could take
And then you
action
can take
if
action.
if they
You can
deem
you can take
necessary.
action because they violated your constitutional right.
When you say you could take action, explain to us what action you think you could take.
Well, Your Honor, these people violated my rights to the
Oh,
Constitution of life, liberty, freedom, and happiness. They trespassed on my
you're
private
referring to,
property. Nope, nope, nope. They trespassed
okay,
on my
you're
they trespassed on my private property,
prospects.
trying to
Yes,
coerce me
yes,
to enter my home
yes,
without a warrant.
yes. You're referring to CPS.
Yes.
You're right now. You're talking about CPS. See, when you said no trespass, that means nobody, not even a solicitor who wants to sell you, I don't know, milk containers or something. They can't come in there either. You see?
That's true.
So that's why when you said the court, yeah. So they, you got to first have them served with something to get them into court. That has to
Not
happen.
all the time.
But I agree. You have no
If
trespass.
you have videos rolling and you got the actual footage of what's going on, and you show that to
Mhm.
a lawyer, or you show that to a lawsuit attorney, they're gonna say, "Well, man,
Mhm.
I think we might have a really solid case here because you warned them of your constitutional rights." They cannot violate our rights, Herbert.
Uh-huh.
Just like you cops can, you
That's
cops are
correct.
not allowed to violate our rights either. We pay you, you work for us.
No, that's correct. I can't violate your rights.
Just like them. They're no longer
That's
funded
right.
under Title 4E. So you know where they're getting that money? It's coming from the state. Who takes state taxes out of us every year and taxes our land? The state. We pay them. They
Yep.
work for us. It's not the other way around. They do not
No,
work for us. They It's not like that. It's not the other way around. They work for us.
no,
We pay their
no.
checks at the end of the day.
It's very true, Vinny. Very true.
And that's the way these parents need to start looking at it. Okay, we pay taxes, we pay this. Why are these people interfering and infringing on our rights when we're the ones paying their pocket? They wouldn't have a goddamn job if it wasn't for us. Oh yeah, Laura Ann is very, very awesome. I've talked to Laura on cam before many times, and I've been in her lives. She is very awesome, Debbie. You should definitely get her on this show at some point. Send her a link and get
Yes.
her on this show.
Yeah, Debbie, that's a great idea. You really need to talk to Laura Ann and see if she would come on the show. Now, meanwhile, back at the ranch, I'm slowly, let me see what the word I can use, slowly manipulating or maturing the mindset of people that know judges. And I want to try to get a judge to come on the show.
Yes.
And the type of judge I'm trying to get to come on the show will be a family court judge.
I mean,
Of course, that individual will use a different name and he's not going to show his face, just like the CPS worker did. But it will be a judge that can be straight up and as transparent as possible and give us answers.
and Debbie, I just want
Really, I talk to a
I
lot of
wanted to
people.
affirm what Carrie just said. We appreciate you and thank you. If you can really bring Laura on for us, that would mean a lot. Hearing us out. And I just want to pass along a message. Darren just wanted to say thank you as well. He's still got a major migraine. And
Okay.
that's why he's not here tonight. And that's okay because, when you got migraines, you don't want to do much. Your eyes get really, really dry. I know mine do
Sure.
for facts. And mine stems right from my
Sure.
neck right up to the middle, right here. It goes all the way up the back. And when I get them like that,
It's a lot of
I
stress.
just don't want to see anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I become quiet. I ball myself up in the dark, and lights affect it. and that's what it did last night.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, you guys, that I wasn't on the after show when you had it. Um, it you know, getting a migraine sucks. It really does. Um,
Yeah.
and there are ways to kind of get rid of it, just like a tooth pain. You can use garlic. You can use certain things. Meat, for instance. When you have a migraine, if you take a hot shower in the dark and you let it hit the back of your neck and the back of your head, and you're able to get that movement back. It may take a while, and then you put some ice there afterward. And I've found that sometimes it does help. It does work. So,
Yeah.
it all depends on your preference, really. But we're
Yeah.
about out that time because I see we're at an hour and
Okay.
30
Before
minutes.
we get to that time, before we get to that time, would you please? I could do it, but I want you to do it for me. Explain to Carrie. She asked a question here about me with the supermarket. Explain to Carrie what I did one day
Oh
for
yeah.
you.
So this was a while ago, Carrie. It's in one of our Saturday episodes. So Herbert was in a grocery store doing some shopping, and he went around asking different random people if they knew about CPS. And he even questioned them outside, and he got a couple people to talk. And there was quite a few people that didn't even know about CPS, and they'd never heard of them. Um, but the ones that did had a story to tell. There was two individuals that did talk that day when he was doing it.
On the show. They
They were
actually were
actually on
on
the
the
show.
show,
Yep,
right?
they were actually there.
Yep.
They talked about what they were going through, what they went through. So we got to hear some of the public stories out and about with Herbert.
Yeah. So I do that from time to time. If the show's on and I'm out, I'll talk to total strangers and ask them if they know something about CPS. I'll say, would you like to come on the show and tell the people here what your thoughts are? And sometimes people say yes, other
Yep.
people say no. It's
Yep.
okay.
I mean, it is a good idea, and I think you should do it a little bit more on a Saturday, Herbert. I think if you went to other places and did it, and like a mall or something, um, and
Yeah.
you got some of that kind of crowd to see if they know about CPS, um, you know, and what they think, and I think that would be kind of beneficial because in a way you're spreading the word a little bit, and these people are hearing what we're saying on the live, and they're understanding, okay, well, there is a lot going on that we don't know about. And then they go home and they start looking into it and they see what's going on. And it's by word of mouth, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my last words, if that's where we're at, I think you were getting ready to lead into that, right?
Okay, awesome, Carrie. That'd be awesome. Um, but yeah, we are at that time, guys. Again, I just want to iterate to our man, the legend, the Punisher. I'm sorry you got a migraine, my guy. Um, I hope you do feel better. Um, and to all you watchers out there, we will be back tomorrow night. It is Thursday, tomorrow night,
I just
or is today Thursday?
I just saw something Carrie wrote.
Nope, nope.
She
Today's
remembers
Thursday.
when I hope that lady put her groceries. Carrie remembers when I hope that lady put her groceries in her trunk after she was talking about her situation with
Yeah.
CPS.
Well,
She
it
reminded
is
me of that.
Thursday, so we do have the Friday show, and then again, of course, on Saturday, we have the Vinny show. I will probably be starting that show Saturday about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Just so you guys are all aware, I'm gonna try to get it so I'm back to almost close to my schedule. I'm just working my way up, so you guys got to bear with me. I'm looking up some new facts to share with you guys on the Saturday show. I'm doing some investigative things myself, so I can share some more information with you guys via constitutional rights, via your Bill of Rights, via our statutes and codes. And I might try to bring Carrie on that night too, because she knows a little bit about Maine statutes and codes, as well as Darren, if I can get him to come on too, just to kind of speak on that and touch on that. Um, I think you guys would be blown away at the things that we're all finding and we're all seeing. So with that said, Herbert, last words.
Okay, I was reading something here. I can't see too clearly. Carrie said, I think this is her last words. It looks like something about our boss man, TY, for trusting us to handle the show for you and taking a much needed break. Next time, don't wait for a migraine. Do so to do so. That is my last words. So basically, Carrie's saying, I guess to Darren and yourself, don't wait for a migraine to take a
Right.
break. Just take a break.
Right. We
Yeah.
all deserve a break here and then. And Darren definitely deserves it because, he not only does this show, he does the Tiff and Punisher show.
Yeah.
And, that's a lot on Darren. He's got major back pain, he gets migraines. And it's a lot for him to come on the show and stand there or sit there for long periods of time. And I fully understand him. Like, I'm standing here right now. I've been standing for this whole entire hour, to talk with you guys and to kind of share a little bit of what's been going on. With
Oh,
you know,
okay, I'll start off by saying, for last words, basically my last word is to avoid CPS, avoid being a target. Don't stand out with things that you do with your family or with your children, where people can report you to CPS and then come doing a research on you or investigating you. So try not to become a target of CPS. Stay off the radar. That way, you won't have CPS coming to your door along with Herbert. Hello, Earth to Vinny. You there? I think Vinny may have froze up or something. I'm not sure. You just let me slide for the last week sickness. Don't even complain about it. Okay. Okay, he froze. All right. So for those of you who are listening, we'll be back on again tomorrow evening, same time, same place. And we look forward to seeing you. And I don't have the bells and whistles and buttons to stop the show, but okay. Good night.
sorry about that, guys. I lost my tablet over here. It died on us. So my last words for the show tonight is this: um, do not let CPS in your door without a warrant or court order. You have every right to tell them to get off your property. And please, again, I implore you, share this live out to as many people as you can every night. We need to pass the word on and get the knowledge that we have out to the public. So until tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, you guys all have a great night. Stay safe, stay CPS safe, and be well. We are CPS Victims Hunting Justice, and I am Vinny, and we are out of here in just a moment.
Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightest feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.